Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. For today's video, I thought it would be fun if I sat down and chatted through my 10 before the end, the 10 books I want to read before the end of 2025. So this is a trend on TikTok. People are basically just putting the 10 books they want to read or try to read and try to get to before the end of the year, and I thought it would be fun to do like a full video. So I actually did a little post on TikTok, and two of the books on there, I have read one and I'm in the middle of one. That's already a success if you ask me. I thought I would just like really briefly like chat through those two books. So the first book that was on that I finished and read was The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I really had so much fun with this book. I didn't expect to like enjoy it as much as I did, but I actually just couldn't put it down. It was so fast paced, like so easy to read. The pages have like so much space around them, so you fly through them. You literally like fly through the chapters, and the chapters are so short, and it's just a good story as well. There's like nothing better than sitting down and enjoying a book that you didn't know you would really enjoy. I actually gave it 4 stars, but I still think it was so fun. This is about a girl, her name is Cassie, and she has like an ability to read people more than like the average person. The FBI basically recruits teenagers who have the same type of ability or different abilities that they think would be beneficial to them to help them solve cold cases. You meet all the other characters in the teenagers, and there is another story going on that kind of wraps up at the end. Honestly, like I was second guessing myself until this was like revealed. I didn't like trust a lot of people. I was like, oh my god, it's this person, no it's this person, and like that's how the author like wrote it. It was like, okay, this is who we shouldn't trust, no this is who we shouldn't trust, no this isn't, and then it revealed who actually we shouldn't trust. I just had so much fun with it, and I instantly went and bought the next 2 in the series. So if that doesn't say what you need to know, but I would definitely recommend this if you're just in the mood for an easy, fast-paced read. It's not too complicated. They do describe like crime scenes and like crime scene photos. It actually does show a lot of detail about that, but I wasn't expecting that because obviously this is like a teen fiction, I feel like. Young adult anyway. I would still recommend. I can't wait to get into the next ones of this book. So the next book that is on that list that I'm in the middle of is People Watching by Hannah Bonham Young. I'm not going to say too much about this, obviously, because I'm only halfway through and because me and my friend are buddy reading this book, so I don't want to give too many spoilers. I literally sat down yesterday and I like actually couldn't put it down. I have seen really mixed reviews on this book. Some people love it, some people really don't like it. I'm enjoying it. No, I'm like, should I check myself? Should I be enjoying it? But then that's like, it's kind of like other people influencing me. Like I'm trying to think, oh maybe I should be thinking about it more, but this is just a fun time. There are moments in it, of course, that I'm kind of like, ooh, I don't know about that, and it like kind of gives me a little bit of an ick, but guys, I'm enjoying it. I am not gonna even lie, I am enjoying this. It's dual point of view. You're following Milo and Prue. He's kind of like a bad boy, moved out of home when he was 18 as soon as he could, left his small town, has been and travelled and seen a lot of places and met a lot of people. He comes back to a small town his brother has moved to because his brother needs his help. And then we meet Prue, who has lived in this small town her whole life. She's 25, well, she's 24 at the start, but then she turns 25. It actually says it on the back, so this is not a spoiler. Her mother is experiencing early onset Alzheimer's, and she's basically caring for her mother. Her and her father are her mother's carers, and I just feel for her because she obviously wants to be there for her mother and her father and help out and like be her mother's carer, but I can tell that there's a sense of she doesn't have many friends. She doesn't have any friends actually. She's like a bit inexperienced in life and things like that, and you can tell that she wants to leave and she wants to just experience life and meet new people and things. And then walks in Milo to her hometown and basically just kind of uplifts those things. You get their story along the way, and I'm only halfway through, but I'm enjoying it. I love Hannah Bonham Young's writing. I loved Out on a Limb. I absolutely adored Out of the Woods. I actually think I preferred Out of the Woods to Out on a Limb, and I feel like that's an unpopular opinion. They were both still like such good reads and like some of my favourite this year. This is not one of my favourites of hers, I won't say that, but I still am really enjoying it. I'm one of those people that's enjoying it. I feel like I talked way too much about those two books, but we're going to get onto the list now. I'm going to start with some not so festive books and then we're going to go into the festive books because I do have a lot of festive books I want to read this year. So following on from The Naturals, I really want to get to Killer Instinct. I might even pick this up after people watching. I just think I'm gonna really enjoy this series. Literally the day after I finished The Naturals, I went and bought this book. I was like, I have to, I simply need it. In the first one, it's very much like these kids are on this program to learn how to solve cases, so they're not really allowed to be involved in like the real cases that are happening as the book is going on, but they do get involved in the first one, and I think the same thing will happen in this one. I just really would like to get to this. I think I'm going to pick it up after people watching. This next one has been on my radar for so long. I've seen so many good things about it, but that is The Crimson Moth, and I'm so excited for this. I don't even know why I'm so excited for it. I've heard things that it's true enemies to lovers, and enemies to lovers is like one of my favourite tropes ever, especially when the two characters literally hate each other and almost like forbidden love, cannot be together. That's my favourite thing to read. So I think that's what I'm going to get with this. That's what I've seen anyway. I think it's about a witch and a witch hunter. He's basically hunting her, trying to find the Crimson Moth. I think that's what she goes by. I'm not 100% sure. I think there's a little bit of a love story that happens. I'm so excited about this one. I really hope I pick this one up before the end of the year because it's just one of my most anticipated reads out of this whole list. This is probably the most anticipated read for me. Next on the list is Immortal Dark. Apart from when I was like really young and I tried to read Twilight, but I just wasn't much of a reader when I was like really young. I've never read anything about vampires, so this really intrigues me. It just sounds interesting. Again, another kind of enemies to lover vibe to it. I think she's inherited a house and she's orphaned and she goes to live in this house, but then a vampire is occupying the house, living there, saying this is my house, I'm living here, and she's like, no, I'm living here. I think it's a bit more of like a darker fantasy vibe, which I've not read yet, so I'm intrigued by this one. So moving on to a bit more of like literary fiction, which I really want to try get into more and see what kind of vibe I like and what authors I like. Next on the list is Beartown by Frederick Backman. I also have seen a lot of good things about this. Also seen things that it's very like sad and heartbreaking, and this is also a series, I'm pretty sure. I think there's 3. So the premise of this book is it's about a small Swedish town. The town is kind of shrinking, not being forgotten about, but people are like not visiting there as much, moving there, like living there and things like that. Something happens where the town is about to like be revived, like a hockey team or something win like a final, if I'm not mistaken, but then something really tragic happens in the town. Basically following those characters and just trying to figure out what they should do, if they should talk about what happened or they should just leave it and not say anything. So I'm really intrigued by this. I really hope I get to this before Christmas, but if not, the new year, I think it still gives the vibe. So they're kind of all like the books I want to get to before the real festiveness starts. The books I want to read that are a little bit more festive, Christmassy vibe, just a bit more wholesome, especially after like I feel like like the fantasy and the darker like fantasy and The Naturals is kind of like a murder mystery type of thriller almost, and then Beartown is a bit more like literary fiction and it's a bit more hard hitting. I want to go in and get all the fluffy romance Christmas festive vibe. First couple of books I'm going to talk about are by one of my favourite authors, and I have spoken about her on my channel before. That is Catherine Walsh. And if you've not read a Catherine Walsh book, please just give her a try. I love her books so much. They're all based like around Irish people and in Ireland, and it just gives me such like wholesome, homey vibes. Obviously because I'm Irish I am a little bit biased, but I just think her writing is so good, and she is the queen of writing book boyfriends. I will say it here now. I'm going to be rereading of hers, and the one, I think this is this is the first book I read of hers, is Holiday Romance. This book is so wholesome, so lovely, such a fun festive read. This book follows Molly and Andrew, and they both live in America, and every year They sit beside each other on the airplane flying home for Christmas. You see a little bit of like their past and how they met and things like that, and then you're following them trying to get home for Christmas because there's like a big storm that happens, all the flights get cancelled, and then they have to try get home. Andrew is like a big family guy. His family love Christmas, are obsessed with Christmas, and Molly's kind of like more chill about it. Her family don't really celebrate it as much as his do, but he really wants to get home for Christmas, and she's like, okay, we need to do it, we need to get home. It follows them going through trying to get flights and all of these things, trying to get home to Dublin for Christmas, and it's just the most wholesome, cozy, festive vibe. And of course there is a little bit of romance involved here. It's like a friends to lovers. I'm obsessed with Molly and Andrew, especially Andrew. I just recommend this so much. It gives you everything you need at the festive time of year. On from that, this is just like a little book recommendation from me. She has a second one, it's interconnected, like standalone to this, called Snowed In. I don't actually have a physical copy of that, but I read that as well, and it's about Andrew's brother Christian. And oh my god guys, please, that is also such a good one. You need to read both of them this year if you're looking for like just a fun time and like the best written book boyfriends ever. Please read those two books because you will not be disappointed. Another Catherine Walsh book she brought out I think it's a week ago now, which is Merrily Ever After, and this is more so like a book just filled with some short stories about other characters that are in Holiday Romance and Snowed In. It's about like more siblings, and I think there's one cousin. That's why I want to reread Holiday Romance first before I read that, because I think I'll be on this like vibe then, because I do remember Snowed In more than Holiday Romance, because it's been like 3 years since I read Holiday Romance, and then go into Merrily Ever After, and I'm so excited for it. It's only like short stories, but I'm like I'm such a person, like at the end of a movie or a TV program when it's like the last season and it says 10 years later, I'm obsessed with that. I need to know what these people are doing with their lives, so I'm excited to get into Merrily Ever After for that reason. I want to see what the siblings are doing, because a lot of the siblings I liked as well, and I was like, oh, I wonder, are they gonna get a story? So I'm so happy she has brought out a little festive, almost like novella for us. One I actually saw, I think it was yesterday, the day before, and I immediately downloaded it onto my Kindle, is called The Christmas Bookshop. So this book follows a girl called Carmen, and she works in like a department store, but it seems like that has closed down, and then her sister mentions an opportunity for her to work and live in Edinburgh in a bookshop at Christmas. And as soon as I saw Edinburgh at Christmas, I was like, that book was made for me. One thing about me is I am obsessed with Edinburgh. It is my favourite city in the world. I've literally, like, I'm so dramatic, I've literally been there twice. But I plan to go there again next year, and I just think one day I will live there. I just have a feeling. So when I saw this, Edinburgh Christmas in a bookshop, is that not just the perfect book for me? I think so. The next book on this list is Every Christmas Eve, but it's basically about two people. When they were teenagers, they went to a Christmas Eve party every year. They saved the date for each other. So every Christmas Eve, without fail, they would go to this Christmas Eve party. But it jumps years, I think, in the future. It's following Ben, who is widowed, with his daughter, and he goes back to the town they lived in. And he's like, I need to revive this Christmas Eve party to make this year special for my daughter. And he's like, who better to ask than Lou, the female main character. This is also set in Ireland, which just gives me so much joy when a book is set in Ireland. I think this one's going to be really wholesome and like second chance vibes to it. Single dad, they're a bit older. I just think it's going to be so much fun. So next book, actually, my friend literally sent me and recommended because she read it and said it's such a wholesome vibe. That is Baby It's Cold Outside, and it just sounds so wholesome. Again, it's set in Ireland. So it says, fate pulled them apart, but not before they made a promise. 10 Christmases later, will their wish come true? As Nora battles through the bustling December crowds, she hears the notes of a song that transports her back to the most romantic week of her life. After meeting on a blissful holiday but knowing they had to part, a boy named Andrew made her a promise. If they are both single on Christmas Eve in 10 years' time, they will meet under the clock on Grafton Street, Dublin. Nora has no idea if he will remember, but she has nothing to lose. So hoping for a Christmas miracle, she heads to Dublin, to that clock, and maybe to Andrew. Guys, that sounds so fun. That sounds so wholesome. I'm so excited. That was definitely more than 10 books. And I am being very ambitious by saying I want to read all of these. I probably won't get to all of these, most likely, especially if I decide to read like the longer ones, because usually the longer ones take me a little bit longer to read. Obviously it's still fun to have a list and to like know in your head, okay, these are the books that I like want to prioritize over the next couple of weeks before the end of 2025. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have gotten this far, thank you so much for watching. If you have any recommendations for me based off the books I've mentioned you think that I would like, please leave them below. If you have read any of these books, give me your opinions. I want to know everything. If you would like to see more videos like this from me, then it would mean a lot to me if you would stick around and subscribe. But I hope I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!